You are in the debate and issue group. You have a number of things that you need to do. One of those things is create a book cover. Candidates who run for office, especially president, will write a book. We're not going to make our candidate write a book, but we are going to create a cover that would look like their book if they actually were running. These are some examples of candidate book covers from past presidential elections. Notice there's a lot of similarities. The biggest one being the candidates' faces are on there, along with their names being fairly large. So you want to create a book that looks like a cover that an actual presidential candidate would have. You need to come up with debate questions. Now, your questions must be difficult, and you need to come up with 5 questions for each candidate, which includes our own candidate. You'll need to do some research. So when you ask these questions in the debate, or when our candidate asks these questions to other candidates in the debate, they're hard questions to answer. And let me give you an example. A few years ago, I had a candidate who said they were going to use goats. They were going to have goats mow the lawn or eat the grass, and they were going to milk the goats and sell their milk in a school store. So one of the questions that a candidate asked them dealt with goats, but rather than asking, tell us about your goat idea, they did some research and found a number of illnesses and diseases that were spread by goats. And they asked a question similar to this. Jeff, you say that you want to introduce goats into our school. Well, goats lead to, and they listed a number of sicknesses and diseases. Why would you want to make the students of Brandon Valley sick? Now, asking a question in this way makes that candidate have to think about their issue in a different way. It puts them on the spot. Now, you're going to have to do some research. You're going to have to find some weaknesses in the platforms of other candidates and then research some stuff so you can use some statistics or data or facts to put them on the spot. Now, you need to have 5 questions for each candidate, which includes our own. So somebody will make questions for our candidate or your candidate, and those will be the kinds of questions that maybe another candidate would ask them, but it gives our candidate a chance to prepare for the debate. Candidate Match is a program that if students took like a test, then the results would match them with the candidate that most closely matches their beliefs. So if one candidate on their platform said that they want early release on Wednesdays, and a student said that that was the most important issue that they want, then maybe it would match them up with that candidate. I'll show you examples of candidate matches that other candidates have done, and you can look at past elections to see some. Pro-Profs has worked pretty good for us. You might find a different one, but that one has worked pretty good. You need to have 2 questions per candidate, but obviously you can't tell who that candidate was. It's kind of like when we did our political ideology test online, and then when you were done asking questions, it matched you with your political ideology. That's the same concept that we want to do here. You need to do an issue poll. Now, issue polling is finding out what issues are most important for the voters today. When you do an issue poll, you need to poll at least 50 random students. So you can't do it in a class. You need to do it between classes or at lunch or before school or after school. You need to give your poll a name. In this case, they use Just Poll It. The date that you conducted your poll, the number of students, that's the N, and then the margin of error, just make that plus or minus 3. And then write down what your question was. In this case, it was, what do you think the biggest problem that Brandon Valley High School faces today? And then record your results. And then put the percentage there. And this gives our candidates some idea of which issues are the most important for the voters. You have to create a political cartoon that relates to this election. We've created political cartoons in class already, so the same concept, except for this one is dealing with this particular election. Those are the things that you must do if you are in the debate and issue group.